So let us try to understand what is mapping. With the help of mapping, we are trying to understand a relation like 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. So just try to see this thing that A can be mapped with, sorry, 1 can be mapped with A, 2 can be mapped with B or C. B can be mapped with D. So this will be the condition for the mapping. If I'm writing this relation, then this relation will be 1A, 2B, 2C, and 3D. This is the relation. So I think we are able to understand the relation over here. The relation which I have shown you right now is with the help of mapping. Earlier we were doing the relation with the help of Cartesian product. But in that we were writing each and every relation. Now we are not writing each and every relation. Now we are writing a part. This mapping is also known as arrow diagram. Like this to this we are going. This is the set x1, elements x and elements y. Now here we need to understand some of the things. Like in the first set, this is set A. This one is set as set B. Now set A contains few elements like 1, 2, 3, 4. Set B also contains few elements A, B, C, D, E. Then these are known as pre-images. And this is known as image. So pre-image and image, A means the first set contains the elements that are said as pre-images, and B is the set which contains the elements are known as images. Prameet, yes, Viti. We have done idea about pre-images and image in a particular relation. Now, in this relation, like 1 is related to A, 2 is related to B, 3 is related to C, and 4 is related to E. Now, nothing is related to D. So, 1 is the pre-images 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, B, C, and E are known as the images. So this thing we have got what are pre-images and what are images. Now our next task is now we are going to understand the term domain, range, and codomain. And range. We are going to understand three things One is known as domain, next thing is known as range, and last most is known as codomain. Now, what is a domain? If we are writing ordered pairs, like over here, then 1, 2, 3 are the domain. Domain are the elements present in the first set. Domains are the elements in the ordered pairs x comma y, which are in place of x, which can be taken in place of x, means pre-images. Elements of set A, or I can say used elements. Range, the used elements of set B. Images like A, B, C, and E. Domain will be in this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Range will be A, B, C, and E. Now we are going for codomain. Codomain means these are the elements. Codomain is the elements in the image set, but codomain are unused elements also we will be taking, like codomains will be A, B, C, D, and E. Domain can be said as the input. Range can be said as output. Domains are the inputs and range is output. So this thing also we can keep in our mind. Now, after this, we are going to understand with one more example this only thing. So let us think. It is example 7. With this, I'll try to explain you the thing in the best manner. So A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Define a relation R from set A to set A. Define a relation R from set A to A. Means in the pre-images as well as in the images. Set A we will be taking. So R will be equals to X, Y, where Y is equals to X plus 1. So pre-images 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Image set again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because it is said as A to A we need to take. We need to take the set from A to A. It means when you are taking 1, so it will be 1 plus 1, 2. When you are taking 2, it will be 3. When 3, then 4. When 4, then 5. When 5, then 6. 6 and 7 cannot be there. So in this domain, used elements of the pre-images that are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Range, the used elements of images, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These used elements will be the range. These used elements are set as the domain, and codomain is now all the elements, whether used or unused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are set as the codomains. So now I think you are able to understand it in the better manner, that what is domain, what is range. So this all was required, and I suppose now you are able to think on it, and it's really wonderful and very, very easy. So we must move to the next. With one more example, I'll try to explain you the same thing. Like now I'm taking question number 1 in the exercise. First question I'm taking. So there is set A which contains elements 1, 2, 3, and so on 14. This is set A. Define a relation R. Define a relation R from A to A. Again, see, it is A to A. That means in both the cases, set 1 as well as set 2, both will be containing A. And the clause is R is equals to xy 3x minus y equals to 0. So where xy belongs to set A. Write down the domain, codomain, and range. Let us make the arrow diagram or mapping. Okay, see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. I'm writing out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So these are the two sets. Now see, it is given us 3x minus y, or I am taking y on other side, 3x equals to y. So 3 times 1 must be equals to y. So 3 times 1 will be equals to 3. 3 times 2 will be equals to 6. 3 times 3 will be equals to 9. 3 times 4 will be equals to 12. 3 times 5 will be 15, and 15 is not in this. So if we are writing relation, then relation will be 1, 3, 2, 6, then 3, 9, and at the end 4, 12. This is the relation. In this, domain will be the used elements of the pre-images. So domain is 1, 2, 3, 4. Range will be the used elements of the images. That is 3, 6, 9, and 12. Now codomain, used and unused elements of the images. That is 1, 2, 3, and so on 14. So we have got idea about domain, range, and codomain. So with these few examples, I suppose now you will be able to understand what are domain, what are the range, and what is codomain. So if these things we are able to understand, then we should move to the next thing. Now next is Prameet. Prameet, set A is containing elements A and B. set B is containing elements P, Q. Find the number of relations from A to B. Find the number of relations from A to B. So, first of all, the relation R will be A cross B, the Cartesian product. So that will be giving AP, AQ, BP, BQ. This is the relation. Now, it is asked us number of relations from A to B. Number of relations is said as power set of the relation, and that is number of possible relations are 2 to power number of elements in the relation. So it will be 2 to power 4. 16 will be the answer. So number of relations, number of possible relations is 2 to power number of elements present in the relation. This is the formula which we must always be able to remember. So I think set A is containing elements 1, 2, 3, and 5. Set B is containing the elements 4, 6, and 9. Define a relation R from set A to set B by R is equals to X, Y. The difference between X and Y must be odd. The difference between X and Y must be odd. So difference between X and Y must be odd means now let us write the relation in the roster form. So R, just think when you are writing the relation, difference must be odd. So to create difference odd, what is the required thing? Odd minus even will be odd. Even minus odd will be odd. So we can take 1, 4, 1, 6. Then 2, 9. Because first is even, then next must be odd. Difference must be odd. Now 3, 4, 3, 6. Now difference will be odd. 5, 4, and last will be 5, 6. So these are the elements in which difference will remain odd and the two numbers are like this way. So it is written in the rosters form. If they are going to say us, if it is not asked, domain, then domain in this way is 1, 2, 3, and 5, and range equals to 4, 6, and 9 because each is used. Codomain will also be 4, 6, 9. So this we could do. Now, directly I'm taking question number 7, 6 we have done in the previous class. So 7th question is, write the relation R is equals to X cube, where X is prime. Relation is A to B. Now, main thing you must keep in mind, x is prime and x must be less than 10. So prime numbers less than 10 are 2. Then 2 cube will be 8. 1 is neither prime nor composite. Hope you know this thing. 1 is neither prime nor composite. So that thing also you must be knowing. This thing you should not forget. Then 3. $27, 5, $125. Now 7 and 7 cube will be 343 now, I think. Next, now we could take question number 8, okay. Set A is equals to X, Y, Z. Set B is equals to 1 and 2. Now see, find the number of relations from A to B. So first of all, relations are A cross B. That is 3 elements in A and 2 elements in B. So 6 are the relations. Now all possible relations. Two to the power number of elements, that is 6. It will be 64. So all possible relations are there that are 64. Now let me solve 9th also. Let R be the relation on Z defined by R is equals to AB. A B belongs to Z. A minus B is an integer. Z is the symbol for the integer. Find the domain and range. Now domain and range. Let us think the difference between what are integers. First of all, we must be knowing what are integers. Z is equals to, these are positive and negative whole numbers. Positive and negative whole numbers are known as integers. So 0 plus minus 1 plus minus 2 plus minus 3 and so on. These are the positive and negative integers. Now these positive and negative integers, when we are thinking about these integers, we need to write the domain and range. So difference between two integers will always be integer. Difference between two integers will always be integer, whatever you could suppose. So it will be domain equals to Z, range equals to Z. Means domain and range both will be integer, because integer minus integer will be always integer, whether it is coming 0, minus 1, plus 1, minus 2, plus 2, whatever result we are getting, that will be ultimately an integer. And when it is integer, it means it is holding the condition. So domain and range both will be integer in this case. So this question also we are able to think, we are able to understand also. Now this all was relations. Now after relations, next thing we need to start, that is said as functions. So what all is function, that we must try to understand now. When we will be knowing what is function, then only we will be able to speak more or talk more about that, and that is required right now. So now next topic is functions. So let us think, what are functions? A special type of relation, a special type of relation is known as function. Now, arrow diagram or with the mapping, I must try to explain you this thing. Is a function. This is a function. Same ways, presently I'll go for many conditions in which they are function, and then we will try to give you some examples which are not function, and then I'll explain you the proper definition. A, B, C, 1, 2. It is a function. Is a function. Is a function. Now, one case I am showing you which is not a function. A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S, T. See, A is like this, and so first set is known as pre-image set and second set is known as image set. It is said as from A to B. Relation is A to B. In each case, it is A to B. So, see the definition: if each pre-image is having only one image, then it is said as a function. Like 1 is having only one image as A, 2 is having only one image as B, 3 is having only one image as C. So it is having one image, no problem, it is a function. A is having one image, B is having one image, C is having one image. So it is a function. But last case, you see, A is having two images, and a pre-image cannot have more than one images. A pre-image cannot have more than one image. A pre-image cannot have more than one image. Therefore, this one relation is not a function. This relation is not a function. So I think you are able to understand this also. Pravmeet. 2 1 3 1 4 2. Another relation is given as 2 2 2 4 3 3 4 4. Keep thinking which one is a function and which one is not. One, two, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. Yes. Now, in the first case, we can compare with this. 2 is having image 1, 3 is also having image 1, 2 is having image 1, 3 is also having image 1. So it's not a problem. So is a function. 2 is having image 4, 2 is having image 2, 2 is having image 4. So a pre-image is having more than one images, therefore not a function. Now this 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 is a function because no pre-image is having more than one image. Now we are coming to a conclusion. See, every function is a relation. Every function is a relation, but every relation is not a function. See, it is a relation, but it is not a function. So every function is a relation, but every relation is not a function. Every function is a relation, but every relation is not a function. Every function is a relation, but every relation is not a function. This thing we must keep in mind. It is really very, very important thing. We must be able to think on it. Yes. After this, now we need to go to think some more situations. So Let me show you one graph of a function. So first graph is fx equals to x. We are making graph of fx equals to x. Fx can also be said as y. Y equals to x, its graph we are making. So for making its graph, we are going to draw the table. I suppose you remember in class 9th and 10th, while making the graphs, we were making such table. So x and y, and we are finding x and y both are equal. So when x is 0, y will also be 0. When x is 1, y will also be 1. When x is 2, y will also be 2. When x is 3, y will also be 3. I'm writing many, but you need not to write that much. -1, then -1, -2, then -2, -3, then -3, because it is the condition for the equal. Now see, when we are making its graph, let us mark the points. So first point I'm making, this first point I'm marking, when x is 0, y will also be 0. This is the point. Now when x is 1, y will also be 1. When x is 1, y will also be 1. When the value of x is 2, y will also be 2. When x is 3, y will also be 3. Now x is -1. At that time, y will also be -1. X is -2, then y must also be -2. X is -3, then y must also be -3. Likewise, many points we can mark, but with few, we are trying to make the graph. So let us make this graph. So, okay, let us join them. So this is the graph of fx equals to x. Now, after the graph, we must be knowing about its domain and range. We are going to mark the domain and range of this function. So domain and range, just try to understand, domain means the values of x, the values of x, and the values of x means it will be real number, because every value we are able to put on x-axis graph, we are able to put each and every value. That means we can put -infinity to infinity and range. Now see, on y-axis also each value is used, each value. Hope with this dots you are able to understand. 0.1, 0.2, -0.1, 0.2, 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4.5, everything we are using. So range will also be real number, or -infinity to infinity is the range of the function. So this thing we are able to understand. So domain and range for the above given graph will be real numbers, and real numbers are -infinity to infinity. Real numbers are -infinity to infinity. This function is also known as identity function. This function is also known as identity function. So this much we must be knowing about this graph. Whenever we are making any graph, for it we must be able to say what is its domain, what is its range, These two things are really very important about the graph. So this was the first graph. Now, second graph we will be making for a constant function. Yes, constant function like fx equals to c. Fx can be said as y equals to c. Now c could be 2, 3, whatever. So when you are going to make its graph, feeling like this is the point. It is not compulsory. Anywhere it could be on the negative side, it could be on the positive side, it could be more upside or down, whatever is possible. But we are feeling like y equals to c is this point. So a line parallel to this we need to. So this is the line of y equals to c. Now we need to think about the domain. See, domain x values, everything we are using on x, we are using everything, yani domain, or minus infinity to infinity. For range, we have the condition that it will be, for range, we have the condition that it will be only c, that is the constant. Range will be the constant. So this is the thing. Now I suppose you are able to understand. If you want to make a table for this, then that also could be made x, y. Keep in mind the value of y will always be c. The value of y will always be c, whether x is 0, 1, 2 or minus 1. Whatever is the value of x, the value of y will be c. Now you are able to understand, I think. Prabmeet. See, now we are going to draw a function, graph of a function. This function is fx equals to x square. We are going to draw the function fx equals to x square. So its graph we need to make. Now again, same thing like table formation. If required, I must go with the table formation or direct. So if x is 0, then y is also 0. Point will be this. Now next, if x is equals to 1, then y will also be 1, because 1 square will be 1. When x is taken minus 1, y will also be 1 right now also. Now I'm taking x as 2. So y will be 2 square, that is 4. Minus 2, then also it will be 4. So this much only we are going to join. We will be able to get the graph of the function. So likewise, we will be getting the graph. Such graph is known as parabolic graph. This curve is like parabola. Now in this case, again, domain and range. Domain is the value of x, and value of x you could see I can put 0, 1 in between also. I can put 2 in between also, and so on. So domain will be real number. And the range we could see y is going towards the positive direction only. So r plus is the range, positive real number. Domain can also be written as minus infinity to infinity, and range is 0 to infinity. Range is going from 0 to infinity, and domain is negative infinity to positive infinity, or I could say range is positive real numbers and domain is real numbers. So this was one of the very great and important curve. If in case the same thing comes, fx equals to x cube, now its graph will be when I'm taking x as 0, y will also be 0. When I'm taking 1, y will be 1 cube 1. If I'm taking x as 2, y will be 8. Somewhere here I'm marking. If we are going for x as minus 1, y will also be minus 1. X as minus 2, y will be minus 8. So its graph will be like this. Now, if we are thinking about domain and range, domain will be real number and range will also be real number, because nothing is missing in this case. For the values of x and y both, there is nothing missing. So domain and range will be same in this manner. Now next thing is coming, fx equals to 1 upon x. Fx equals to 1 upon x. Now domain and range, how to calculate? So let us think about it. Ramit, see, if x is 1, then y will also be 1. If x is 2, y will be 1 upon 2. Y is fx. 3, then 1 upon 3. One more. 4, then 1 by 4. Now going towards the negative side. Minus 1, then minus 1. Minus 2, then minus 1 by 2. Minus 3, then minus 1 upon 3. One more thing I'm doing. 1 is 1 itself, but 2 can be written as 0.5, 0.33, 0.25, minus 1, minus 0.5, minus 0.33. So likewise, it will be going. Now, thinking about its graph, 1 is 1, 2 will be 1 by 2, 3 will be 1 by 3, 4 will be 1 by 4. If we are taking 1 by 2, then it will be 2, 1 by 3, then 3. So its graph will be coming somewhat like this. It will never meet x-axis or y-axis. Same ways when we are going for the negative side, So it will be like this. Now let us think about the domain, range. See, domain will be the value of x, and value of x, what we can put? Any real number. But you can see I have not put anywhere 0. So real number minus 0. And range will also be real number minus 0. Because if we are going to put 0 over here, then the term becomes not defined. So see, whenever we are coming towards 0, it is tending towards infinity, but it is not meeting x-axis. So it is not meeting x-axis means it is tending towards infinity, but it is never meeting. It is not meeting each other, just it is going away from the situation. So likewise, I suppose we are able to think on it. It is also one of the very great graph. Now next we are going to see, this one is really very important. This is said as fx equals to mod x, modulus curve. So this modulus curve, when we are going to make, how it will be. Let me make table first now. X, y. Modulus is also known as absolute value curve. So absolute value curve means it will be making everything positive, whether it is negative or positive, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and so on. Prameet. See now, when we are taking 0, it will be giving us value 0. When 1, it will be 1, 2, then 2, 3, then 3, 4, then 4, 5, then 5. But minus 1 absolute value will be 1, minus 2 absolute value will be 2, minus 3 absolute value will be 3, minus 4 absolute value will be 4. So if we are going like this, it will be on the curve. I need to represent it. So when x is 0, y will also be 0. When x is 1, y will also be 1. X is 2, y will also be 2. X is 3, y is also 3. 4, then 4, 5, then 5. Minus 1, then 1. Minus 2, then 2. Minus 3, then 3. Minus 4, then 4. Minus 5, then 5. So if I join this, it will be giving me a curve in this manner. So this is the modulus curve. Fx equals to mod s modulus function curve we have made. So now we are going to think about the domain and range. Domain is real number. Values of x and values of x are real numbers. Any value we can put. But when we are thinking about the range, when you are talking about the range, see, the range is always going towards the positive side of y-axis. So real positive. If I want to represent it in the interval form, so it will be minus infinity to infinity, and this will be 0 to infinity. I suppose from sets we are able to understand that what is the interval pattern. This bracket indicates that including 0 we are going further, and infinity can never be included. That's why round bracket is coming. There are 3 brackets. I suppose you know the meaning of these 3 brackets. One is this curly bracket. It stands for the sets. Then open bracket we used to say this, and this is closed bracket. So these are the 3 things from the sets. So we will be able to remember it. in the coming class, we will go for the revision, and over there we will be able to understand this all. Prameet. Now we are going for signum function. Now, what is signum function? Exactly, if I want to represent it, then fx equals to 1, 0, minus 1. When x is greater than 0, it will be 1. When x is equals to 0, it will be 0. When x is less than 0, it will be minus 1. So we are going to represent it on the graph. Now see, function I'm representing in this manner, in the function form fx equals to mod x upon x, or x upon mod x also I could write. See this thing, that the signum function is either this or this. Now greater than 0 values we are going to put. Greater than 0 we can put table formation x, y. If I'm going to put 0.5 over here, if I'm going to put 0.5 over here, then I think you are able to understand for the 0.5, x value is 0.5. So it will be 0.5 upon 0.5, we will be getting 1. If I'm going to put 1, then 1 upon 1 will be 1. If I'm going to put 2, then 2 upon 2 will be 1. If I'm going to put 3, then also it will be 3 by 3, 1. If I'm putting 1.5, then 1.5 upon 1.5, then also it will be 1. If I'm going to put negative number like minus 1, then what it will be? Let us see once. Minus 1 mod upon minus 1. So it will be 1 upon minus 1, that is minus 1. If I'm putting minus 2, then it will be minus 1. If I'm putting minus 2.5, then also it will be minus 1. 7, then also it will be minus 1. So let us think on the graph of this situation. If we are going to put more than 0 anything, means we are not taking 0. 0 is excluded. So we are getting result as 1. Result is 1. If I'm putting less than 0 anything, I'm getting result as minus 1. And when I'm going to put it as 0, it will be 0. So this is the graph of signum function. So signum function graph, now we will be able to remember. It is really an important condition. We must be able to make such graphs. Now let us think about the domain and range. Domain is anything we can put, so it is real numbers. And the range is only 3 things, that is minus 1, 0, and 1. Range is minus 1, 0, and 1. So we are going to put range only these 3 numbers, that are minus 1, 0, and 1. So likewise, we can calculate the domain and range of these functions. So signum function also we are able to understand. Now, last graph for the day, it is greatest integer function. greatest integer function. Now the symbol for this fx equals to this square bracket like symbol. So this is the symbol for the greatest integer function. Now when we are making the greatest integer function graph, we must be knowing what is greatest integer function. It means lower integral value. Greatest integer function is representing lower integral value. Like, let us think, like you are going to put 1, then it will be giving you 1. If we are putting 1.0001, then also it will be 1. If we are going to put 1.5, then also it will be 1. If we are going to put 1.75, then also it will be 1. If you are going to put 1.9999, then also it will be 1. So if it is integer, then the same value you will be getting. And if integer, whatever is, sorry, if any number is put that is decimal or fraction, then the lower integral value will be coming. Lower integral value right now is 1. One more example I'm taking. If we are going for -2, then it will be -2. If we are going for -2.0001, then it will be -3. Lower integral value less than this, the value will be 3. -2.75, then also it will be -3. On the number line you need to see, otherwise you will get confusion. 0, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3. See, I'm saying you 2.75 with the negative side. So lower integral value less than this is -3. Na? On the number line, we must be able to think. Otherwise, we won't be able to think on it. Without looking to the graph, without thinking to the number line, we will not be able to say anything. Like 1.9999, somewhere here it will be coming. So lower integral value will be 1. So this is the condition. Now we need to make graph on it. Now see, first of all, I'm going to put over here 0 to 0.999, 1 to 1.999, 2 to 2.999, 3 to 3.999, -1 to 0.0001. So it will be like this, the step like thing. So in this case, domain is the real number and range is the integer. Range will be see, algebra of two functions we are going to study. Now, algebra of two functions means addition of two functions. First of all, we are going to understand like a function fx is given to us. Another function gx is also given to us. And it is said as that we need to find f plus gx. Then how to calculate f plus gx? It will be fx plus gx. So this is said as addition of two functions. If in the same manner we need to go for the subtraction of two functions, then it will be f minus gx will be fx minus gx. it will be now next we are going for f into g x will be fx into gx. Now f upon g x will be equals to fx must be divided by gx. Some of the things you might be able to understand, but to get it in the best manner, we must go for few questions. Here you must keep in mind one thing, that gx should not be equals to 0. Gx can never be equals to 0. So now one example I'm taking, like fx is given as x square and gx is given as 3x plus 2. So in this case, what we need to do, like these four things we are going to calculate. So let us calculate these four things. So the first is f plus g x. It will be fx plus gx. Fx means x square plus 3x plus 2 will be the answer. If in case the question is asked, find the value of f plus g 2. This 2 indicates we need to put the value of x as 2. We need to put the value of x as 2. So it will be 2 square plus 3 into 2 plus 2. So it will be 4 plus 6 plus 2. So result will be 12. This is if asked like this, then we need to see these things. Now next is f minus g x will be fx minus gx. Fx means x square, gx means 3x plus 2. So it will be x square minus 3x minus 2. Then next, they might ask us to calculate f into g x will be fx into gx. Now fx is x square into gx is 3x plus 2. So it will be 3x cube plus 2x square. Next, if the question comes like this, f upon g x, then we can write it fx upon gx. So fx upon gx means fx is x square upon 3x plus 2. Keep in mind 3x plus 2 could not be equals to 0. So 3x could not be equals to minus 2. X should not be equals to minus 2 by 3. So this will be the ultimate thing which we need to keep in mind. They may ask us g upon fx also. So this will be gx upon fx. So gx is 3x plus 2 upon x square. So likewise, we could do the questions. Now see how they may ask Prameet. Now let us move. See, now we have been given a function fx equals to minus times mod x. Hope you remember we have made the graph of fx equals to mod x. It is the graph. While making it, we were able to remember that domain was the real number and range is the real positive numbers. So in the same manner, now in this case, what will be the domain? Domain means the values of x, and over here values of x could be anything. So it will be real numbers. The values of x and that could be real number because there is no restriction. We can put anything in place of x. Whereas when we are going for range, in the case of range, see, this is giving me, mod is giving me always positive. And always positive is multiplied to the negative. So it will be real negative. Or I could write it minus infinity to 0. But 0 we cannot take because 0 is considered as positive. So it will be excluding 0. I think you are able to understand that domain and range for the above given function. Likewise, if the question comes fx equals to 1 upon x minus 1. Just now in the previous question, we were talking about it only. Keep in mind, denominator cannot be equals to 0. If denominator will be equals to 0, then the function will become not defined. So denominator, that is x minus 1, can never be equals to 0. That means x can never be equals to 1. So x means domain. Domain will be real numbers minus 1. Same ways, one graph we have made, fx equals to 1 upon x. In this, when we were talking about the domain, you see denominator cannot be equals to 0, so x cannot be equals to 0, real numbers minus x it is. Sorry, real numbers minus 0 it is. Now we are going for the next. If question comes in this manner that fx equals to under root 9 minus x square, then what we need to do in this case? So let us think. See, when we are talking about the root, keep in mind root result can never be negative. I can write y equals to fx can be written as y equals to 9 minus x square. Keep in mind root cannot be negative. That means y will be always greater than or equals to 0. That means or under root 9 minus x square will be always greater than or equals to 0. Because root cannot give us the negative value. Root result cannot be negative. Root will be always positive. Root is giving us the positive result always. So now squaring both the sides. So it will be 9 minus x square greater than or equals to 0. 9 minus x square will be greater than or equals to 0. 9 can be written as 3 square minus x square will be greater than or equals to 0. This will be 3 minus x into 3 plus x. 3 minus x into 3 plus x will be always greater than or equals to 0. So see, the product of two things is greater than or equals to 0. Either 3 minus x will be greater than or equals to 0, or 3 plus x will be greater than or equals to 0. So first condition is showing 3 must be greater than or equals to 0. Second thing is showing x is greater than or equals to minus 3. Sorry, 3 is greater than or equals to x. This is my mistake. So with these two things, what I could say, x is greater than or equals to minus 3 and less than or equals to 3. X is greater than or equals to minus 3 and less than or equals to 3. X means domain. Domain is minus 3 to 3, including minus 3 and 3. One thing, try to think the logical method you need to apply. This is the pure logical method. Don't go with anything. That will not give you marks. Now, when we need to talk about the range. So see, I'm taking this one. Y is equals to under root 9 minus x square. Y square is equals to 9 minus x square. X square equals to 9 minus y square. X equals to under root 9 minus y square. With this, see, it is coming similar. Means y is less than or equals to 3, greater than or equals to minus 3. This will be the y value. But see, over here you have written y must be greater than or equals to 0. Here you are writing y must be greater than or equals to minus 3. So when we will combine these two from equation 1 and 2. From equation 1 and 2. Y must be less than or equals to 3 but greater than or equals to 0. So the range will be 0 to 3. This will be the range. This is one of the very important question. So please try to solve this once, then only it will be better. Pravneet, you should stop. Pravneet. Fx equals to 2 minus 3x. X is greater than 0. Now see, we have been given the value of x is greater than 0. So it is given as x is greater than 0. If we multiply by 3 on both the sides, we will be looking to the function. So it will be 3x is greater than 3 into 0. Now multiply by minus 1 on both the sides. So minus 1 into 3x minus 1 into 0. Whenever you are multiplying with minus sign, inequality symbol will reverse. Whenever you are multiplying by minus sign or minus 1 on both the sides, the inequality is said this will reverse. So minus 3x is less than 0. Now add 3. Sorry, add 2. 2 we need to add. When we are adding 2 on both sides, 2 minus 3x is less than 0. 2 minus 3x is less than 0. This only was fx. Sorry, adding 2 this side I have not added. Fx is less than 2, or fx can be said as y. Y is less than 2. So the range minus infinity to this will be the range. So I think this question also we are able to understand. It's really a wonderful question. Now one more question. Fx is equals to x square plus 2. Now see, fx can be said as y. So y is equals to x square plus 2. We need to calculate the range. As per the question, we have been given the value of x as x is real number. X is real number means less than infinity, greater than minus infinity. Now squaring x square is less than infinity, greater than 0. So x square lies between 0 to infinity. This is said as the value of x square, and we know that x square will be always positive. Whether it is negative or positive, it will remain always positive. Now add 2 on both the sides. So 0 plus 2 x square plus 2 infinity plus 2. So 2 is greater than fx. 2 is less than fx is less than infinity. Infinity plus 2 will remain infinity, and this is said as y. Y is less than infinity and greater than 2. It means range 2 to infinity. So likewise, we can calculate the different things, different questions. So I think now you are able to understand. Now it is your homework